Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hearthstone Meta Hype. I'm here with Ecor. How's it going, my man? What's up?
It's going pretty well. Having a great time with Hearthstone recently, especially after the nerfs. Have been experimenting with a lot of fun decks. So, considering I play that game for like 4 to 6 hours a day, I'm doing pretty well.
It's good to hear that you're not so salty or whatever. But I think this is going to be a fun episode, and the reason why is because we do have 4 cards that we think you've been sleeping on, and let's just get right into it. What's that first card that you've been sleeping on, or they've been sleeping on, that you want to talk about?
I think the first card they've been sleeping on is the Druid quest. The Druid quest, the quest line, whatever you want to call it, is I think one of the least played quests in the game. The only quest that's played less is the Paladin one, which I do think is kind of bad. But I think that the Druid one is actually pretty strong, especially if you're playing against matchups that don't really have a lot of taunt, or just don't really have that many minions in general. Like Mage, this deck, I'm currently 9-3 with this deck. I have beat every mage I've gone against. They basically just try to burn you down, but you are also trying to finish your quest at the same time, and then you just slam them for immediate damage, and they have no way of regaining that health. Yes, they have Ice Barrier, but that's usually not enough. You're usually doing plenty of damage. You're not playing that many minions, so you play around Mage in that way. You've got your attack, and you can use that attack to trade into minions, so you can beat more aggressive decks like Hunter. And then you could run a couple of other late game win conditions like the Cenarian Ward. That's how I built the decks. Like mid game, late game, you want to double activate Cenarian Ward if the quest isn't enough to win you the game. So yeah, I think the quest line as a whole is just so versatile, because you can play it as just a full-on aggro deck with some armor, or you can play it as a mid-range deck, do tons of damage, and then play Cenarian Ward at the end. There's a lot of different things you can do with the quest line. So I think you're sleeping on this deck as a whole, not even just the card.
Yeah, like Lost in the Park is what we're talking about, right? I mean, it's like kind of like, and it's kind of symbolic of what the thing is about. It's lost. No one's really played it. And the reason why is because, like you said, that everybody started playing what was winning, and like Mage, and of course everybody was playing Warlock for a while. And I think that you'll see more people starting to play this, because it's definitely a sleeper type of thing. But yeah, I mean, you could smork the hell out of a Mage with this card. I mean, you probably you could go no minion against a Mage and beat them.
Yeah.
just put all your attack in there and just hit the face, and because they'll have nothing that they do. I think that one of the reason why this thing struggled is because of the way that people designed the deck. And they kind of like, I don't know if you noticed, but most of the time people were trying to play Guff the Tough more than once. It seemed like they would pull him back and then play him again, and then pull him back and play him again, and stuff, which is kind of cool. But I thought that combo was a bit slow. I think that this deck as a whole just needs some refinement. But yeah, I think it's got legs.
I mean, I send him back twice, but I don't shuffle him into my deck anymore. That one took way too long. But yeah, I see your point. It definitely could use some refining. It's just not many people are playing it, so not many people are trying to refine it. So if you, the viewer, are trying to refine it, and you can make a good version of this deck really early on, you will be ahead of the game, which will be really cool. And you can dominate the ladder with a deck that I think is going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
So what's your first sleeper card, by the way?
Well, it's everybody knows what it's going to be. It's Cheesemonger. I think that this card, cheese. I mean, come on, who's got that? Who doesn't got that cheese? It's the S1 hider here. I mean, this Cheesemonger is the card that is secretly the big cheese of S1 7. You know what I'm saying? This is the card that everybody should be playing. It's still, when you play it out, your opponent still hovers over this card to see what the hell it is.
Yeah, and they're like, what is this card? I've never seen this.
I mean, but here, let's talk about the stat line of a Cheesemonger. I mean, you got a 4-mana 3/6. Talk about being able to remain on the board. It's going to take 2 cards to kill it. It'll take at least 2 spells to kill it most of the time. The only class that really could kill it is Hunter could could kill it because they have the 6 damage, and then the rest goes to the hero. But you know,
I mean, Mage Fireball as well.
Right. And the good news is that wouldn't you rather have a fireball or anything that's in the warlock class to complete their quest going onto a minion rather than to go onto
going to your face? Yeah, right. I mean, that is definitely optimal. I mean, your minion can die, that's fine, but if you die, you're dead. That's the whole point.
Yeah. So I've been playing this card, and I put it into a control warrior, and I feel like this card really has a lot of potential in the control warrior. The reason why is because you could take out some of your drawing cards and stuff. And I've really, in playing, believe it or not, the reason why I felt that this like kind of got into this card was one, because it's so kooky and stupid, and I just enjoy having crazy cards in my deck. But I also really do think that Cheesemonger is good, and it's something that they have to contend with, and it's something that when you put it out on the board, you gain cards. Like card generation is really good, and the big cheese, man, and it goes really well, believe it or not, into pirate warrior, control warrior. So I suggest everybody try to use a little cheesemonger in their deck and bring that cheese up, man. Make it spicy cheese, whatever that would be. Leave your comments below and just be like, yo, I can make a deck with this. Let's try to make some cheesemonger decks. What's your next card, Ecor?
My next card is more of a combo. It's 2 cards. I know that's kind of cheating a little bit, but it's the Box by Knuckles and Tiny Toys little combo. I just think that it's seeing a little bit more play, but it's still not seeing enough as I think it should. This is one of the best turn 6 boards that you could possibly get. The surprise development means it's not something that's built up over time. So it's not something that like the opponent can deal with as the game goes on. This is basically like playing double activating Cenarian Ward to get some giant minions out of nowhere. You don't get the armor, but it's more minions. Like, it's just so aggressive, and if you're not about to lose, you just play this card and you win. Or play this combo and you win. Box by Knuckles turn 5, Tiny Toys turn 6. The only issue with this is that you need to kind of control the board really, really well early game for this to actually work out. But you've got things like Lightning Storm. You've got the new elemental Canal Slogger, which is Rush Lifesteal. You've got... you can discover cards. You have the Tidal Surge that deals 4 damage lifesteal that you can use to protect yourself a little bit. All of these things buy you enough time, in my opinion, to get to Box by Knuckles Tiny Toys and usually just win the game off of them. They're so strong if you can actually get it off. And yeah, I'm currently 8-4 with my Evolved Shaman build. So, I mean, that's a small sample size, but it's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's like, you know, the sample size is something to talk about as well. I mean, winning is winning. We've talked about this before, though, where we've said that you could feel when a deck is good. Like, you understand the difference between variants and stuff. Like, so I just want to go on the record and say that when Ecor says I've gone 8-4 with it, he's only mentioning that because it's a deck that he could continue to play. You rarely hear him say, well, I got 4 with 8. I've got 4 and 8 with the deck, and I think it's still pretty good, right? It just wouldn't make sense. So, you know, in defense of my man here, Ecor, it sounds like it could be a good deck. Maybe not the best, but at least it's winning, right?
Yeah, basically.
So Tiny Toys, though, I mean, it's summon 4 random 5-cost minions and make them 2/2. And it's funny. The other day I was playing against an Evolved Shaman, and they got some really good 5-cost minions, and you could see the pain in their eyes when they had to evolve them. Like, I kind of like those.
Yeah, sometimes you get some good ones, but I mean, 6 drops are usually better. Usually, sometimes you'll low roll and it'll feel bad. Like every now and then, I feel like I've definitely lost one of my 4 games was because I evolved into something that was worse than what it had been before. So I basically downgraded my board. So sometimes that'll happen, but it's still insane to get out a ton of 6 drops out of nowhere. So it's still very good, but yeah.
Well, they're 5 drops, right? It's
They start off 5, and then you evolve them into 6 with the Bugs by
that's
Knuckles.
right. Oh, that's so sick. You're right. Yes. I'm stand corrected here. That is absolutely obscene.
Yeah.
I mean, 6 drops is like, I mean, it includes like a couple of them. I mean, you could get like Baron Scavenger, you could get Antheron.
Anetheron, I think. I don't know how to say his name, actually. Never mind. You might have been right.
Anatheron, yeah, whatever. Cornelius, you might get.
Yeah, I've gotten Cornelius before. He drew me a couple of cards. It was nice. Because this deck doesn't have too much card draw, so drawing those 2 extra cards was nice. Then I drew into, I think, another Tiny Toys. Yeah, it's a fun deck, man. I would recommend trying it out. I actually really enjoy it. Because not only is it pretty decent, but it's got RNG, but it's not like super oppressive RNG, because it's still like the it's still like a control deck with a win condition. I don't know. It just doesn't feel as bad to lose to as things like, Quest Mage. It's just like, okay, surprise board turn 6, but like at least it's a board that your opponent can deal with. It doesn't win all the time. I'm not saying it's as good as Quest Mage. I think it's still one of the best decks in the game, or like aggro Druid. But I think that it's fun. I've had an absolute blast playing it. The time flew by when I was playing this deck.
Yeah. So I got my next one, man.
Okay, what's your next one?
Sheldress Moontree. This is the 8-mana 5/5 with the battle cry. The next 3 spells you draw are cast when drawn. I think this might be the card that you could put into our buddy too. The quest Lost in the Park. Maybe the intention here is to put some big spells out of there, because it seems like with the quest you generally do have some board presence, so you might be able to run like something that'll buff up your minions or your hero power. What are your thoughts about that? How do you think you could get Sheldress into the flavor text here to play it? Why we've been sleeping on it? What do you think?
I already played this card in a deck a little while ago. It was basically just Ramp Druid, the one with clowns a while ago with Survival of the Fittest and Cenarian Wards and Guardian Animals. That's basically what I ran this deck in. I basically just try to ramp up, play him, play the Primordial one that will draw you a spell. The Primordial Protector, I think it's called. Elemental 8-mana 6/6. And then it would draw me Survival of the Fittest, pump everything up in my hands, summon me a 10-drop, and sometimes I could draw some extra spells after that, especially if you played like Lorekeeper, pull Celt right before playing Sheldress as well. So I think that it actually could be pretty decent. I don't exactly know how good Ramp Druid is right now, but honestly, I think it has a potential place in the meta. Because, like, it doesn't play minions, so Quest Mage will be a little bit slower. You're going to lose to Aggro Druid, but everything loses to Aggro Druid unless you have sick removal. I think that it could be okay, actually. I haven't played it in, like, two weeks, I think, was when I last played it. But it was okay then. I think I went, like, I don't know, like 4-4 or something. I didn't play too many games with it, but it was okay. But I think with the nerfs, I think it might be a little bit better. I'm not sure, though. This is all speculation, but I do think that it is playable.
How about Cthulhu? How about a Cthulhu Sheldress Moontree deck? And you just, the next 3 spells you draw are cast when drawn. So you might be able to complete your Cthulhu quest quicker.
Yeah, but you have to actually draw the Cthulhu pieces. It's not like it just plays 3 of them from your deck, and those would be like your only 4 spells in the deck, and it would just automatically draw them. Like, you could just go the entire game and not draw your Cthulhu pieces.
It looks like we missed a trick here, man. They got to buff this card up somehow. This is a sleeper.
I think Sheldress is actually an interesting card. I would like to have seen him be like 7 mana. Instead of 8, because right now it's just weird having to choose between playing him or like Guardian Animals. Right? Or play him or Cenarian Ward to like protect myself. But if I can play Sheldress turn 7 and then still play my Guardian Animals or Cenarian Ward on curve turn 8, or maybe not turn 8, but like at 8 mana because Druid has ramp, I feel like that would have been better, and I feel like he'd be playable. But I feel like Druid already has 2 or 3 good decks, right? 1 or 2 good decks. Obviously, aggro Druid, Quest Druid a little bit. Do they really need a third? I don't know. But if they were to buff it, I would just say make its mana 1 cheaper, and it would be pretty decent.
Yeah, this is funny. You're gonna laugh here, and when I tell you this, I looked at the amount of wins I have by class, and
Okay.
I came to realize that I had 3,100 wins with Druid. I'm like, when have I ever played Druid? I don't even. I have 300 with Demon Hunter and 3,100 with Druid. And so, what do you think my next class is that I've won the most with?
I want to say Warlock.
Hunter.
Okay, Hunter is my next guess, because Hunter's mine, because everybody plays like Face Hunter or did at some point. So I'd say Hunter's probably top 3. Is your third Warlock?
Nope. My third is Paladin.
That's crazy.
And I don't play Paladin. I don't play I don't play Druid. I don't play Paladin, and I don't play Hunter. Only recently did I start playing Druid. That's the only reason I noticed that I had so many wins. I'm like, oh wow, that's cool.
I have 2,000 wins on Hunter. Maybe I think 2,200, and that's the most wins I have on any class. And I don't even think I have 2,200. I think it's barely 2,000. Now I'm kind of curious. You can keep talking. I'm literally going to check right now.
Yeah. Well, I was actually going to say that that we do this show every week. This is season 2, by the way. Ecor and I have been doing the show for 2 years. This is the second year that we've been doing it. And we do enjoy the show. So make sure that you go down into the description below the comments and make comments. Check out the giveaway that's going on. And before we get on here, what's the amount of wins that you have, Ecor?
Okay, I've got 2,400 on Hunter. That is my most. What do you think my next most is? It's actually really close between 4 other classes.
Okay, so Hunter's the most. I'm gonna say that you are Warrior second.
That's third. It's really close to the second one. It's only down by like 40 wins.
What do you got?
Paladin. Paladin is my number 2. I think it's because I played a lot of Odd Paladin back when I was trying to that was the deck I'd use to get Legend really fast when I wanted to start making content. So I'd play Odd Paladin, run right up to Legend, and then start having fun. But I played a lot of Odd Paladin.
Yeah.
And then Warrior, then Warlock, then Rogue. And all of those are within 100 wins of each other.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Well, Paladin is pretty popular for me too, because I just loved when I first started playing the game, I loved Tyrion Fording. That was the reason why. So did all of my games with Tyrion Fording, and I always wanted to be like the lawful character in Paladin. It just resonated with me in the class. So like the majority of the majority of my time was spent practicing Hearthstone with Paladin. But that's why it's so ironic, because I hated the class when it became Odd Paladin. I just felt like it was just so busted. But anyway, we're gonna get on out of here, and thank you so much everybody for watching. And as I always say, stay hype, and we'll see you next week.